What's going on, guys? It's your boy TTG, and today I'm bringing you a video of college football news. What I'm going to do is like a little daily news show every day. So make sure you subscribe. I'll keep you up to date on important portal news, coaching searches, just college football news in general. We are going to do some college baseball as well, some NFL. I'll cover just all the big stories of the daily sports world that you need to know. And it'll be in one quick video where you can play it on your lunch break or whatever it may be. And yeah, that way you get all your up-to-date news really quick, and it's pretty informative, straight to the point. Anyway, make sure you like the video, comment, click the bell notification to get notified to when I post. And again, guys, we are doing a giveaway on this channel. 1,000 followers or 1,000 subscribers before January 1st. I'm giving away a jersey of your choice. All right, any jersey, NFL, MLB, whatever it may be, whatever jersey you want, shipped to your house. If you don't want to give me your address, I'll give you a gift card or something so you can buy it. All right, let's get into the news. We're going to start in the transfer portal of college football. Now, you may be asking yourself, if you're new to college football, or if you live under a rock, what is a transfer portal? The transfer portal is exactly what it sounds like. Kids can transfer. I think the NCAA rule is still once without any consequences, a free transfer. This portal opens up between opens up in a certain amount of days, and you have that many days to enter the portal. Teams interested in you will contact you, etc. You can find a new place to play. So without further ado, let's get right into the portal news. I'm gonna just update on guys that are entering the portal, and then once they enter, I will only talk about them if they've committed, right? I'm not going to waste my time or waste your time trying to update you on every single visit they're taking, because there's way too many. So we're going to start with Malachi Nelson. Malachi Nelson, everybody knows who he is, former five-star, can't miss prospect out of high school, goes to USC, doesn't see the field at USC as a freshman. I can't remember if he redshirted there or if he redshirted at Boise this year, but he transfers to Boise State. Pretty much everybody has him as a lock to start. Maddox Madsen, you forgot to tell Maddox Madsen, beats him out during the spring, and yeah, ever since then, it's been pretty much a foregone conclusion that I think, Malachi Nelson was going to hit the portal. I think he has 3 years of eligibility left, so he stays at both programs 1 year. Now, it says he has immediate eligibility. I'm not sure how that's possible, considering this is a second transfer. I don't really know how it works, so the more I know, the more I learn, I'll inform you guys. But that's Malachi Nelson. It'll be interesting to see what teams are willing to take a shot at him. If he can't start at Boise State, now, that's no shot at Maddox Madsen. The kid can ball. Maddox Madsen can ball. It is what it is. But you would think a former five-star, top 5 quarterback in his class would be able to start at Boise State. So we'll see where he goes from there. Maybe he'll make some noise. We'll see. Staying at the quarterback position, one that interests me was Luke Kromenhoek. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Florida State's quarterback. I did get to see him play my Florida Gators last game of the season. Unfortunately, the Florida State Seminoles did not make a bowl game, so we won't be. He's in the portal anyway, so we wouldn't be seeing him anyway. But what does this mean for recruiting at Florida State? Jordan Travis. I can't remember. I think he came from Louisville or something. It seems like every year Mike Norvell's in the portal looking for a quarterback. This kid, but I don't think this is so much his fault based on what I've read from Florida State fans on Twitter, and I follow a lot of them. Based on what I've seen, he wanted 7 figures. Now, if you are a returning Heisman favorite and your team won 8-9 games and maybe on the cusp of making a playoff run, you may fork up that kind of dough, but I don't blame Florida State. If it's true, I don't know. He wanted 7 figures. I don't blame Florida State for not forking up that money. He hasn't really proven much. Now, albeit they have a terrible offensive line and not a ton of playmakers down there in Tallahassee for him to work with. So maybe that's part to blame. But regardless, he still hasn't shown you that he can, take that next step as a quarterback. 7 figures is a little steep for me. I find it hard to believe he's going to get that anywhere he goes. But I will be interested to see. We've already seen who his replacement is at Florida State, who's going to probably be the starter next year. We'll talk about him in a minute. But Luke Kromenhoek, looking for a new home. I think he was a top 5 quarterback in his class. So I don't know. It's interesting. The transfer portal makes everything interesting. As you'll see with our next guest or our next entry into the portal, It pains me. But that's Luke Kromenhoek, Florida State. Interesting transfer portal entry there. Another interesting one for me, especially, Florida Gators defensive end Jack Pyburn entered the portal a couple days ago. So you probably already know about this. This may not be breaking news, but from now on, I will try to do this video daily and keep you guys up to date. Yeah, Jack Pyburn, one of the at least vocal leaders on the Florida defense that has been playing really well lately, has entered the portal. From what I've heard from the people I follow on Twitter, and there's one account that I follow that, yeah, he has my attention because pretty much everything he says is right. He's saying Jack Pyburn wanted a little bit of money. I don't think it was the money that pushed Jack out. I think it was the part where he asked Billy Napier if he could be promised playing time next year and promised to be a starter, and Billy said no. Now, is that true? I'm not in the room, so I don't know. It sounds good. Sounds right. Because I think Jack Pyburn's, both his parents are huge Gator fans. I think Jack's a huge Gator fan, grew up one. Maybe Florida can pull it together and get him back out the portal. Jack, if you're listening to this video, I know you're not, please come back, dude. It's not worth it. You played a ton this year. You're going to play a ton next year. Billy's just not going to promise you playing time because we may be getting some guys out the portal that are big time players, and that's good for you. You get to put some things on tape and you get to stay fresh during the game, and you're probably going to be an NFL player if you just, get on the field and keep making plays like you were. So another interesting one for me. If he does indeed leave Florida, I'll be sad, obviously, but hopefully Florida can pull some more guys out of the portal. We do have capable guys on roster as well, but it's hard to get veteran leadership on a team, and he's one of them. I would like to see him back, but if he does leave, of course, good luck to him, and somebody's getting a lot of leadership and a lot of playmaking ability with Jack Pyburn. Next up, Georgia Tech wide receiver Eric Singleton has entered the transfer portal, and pretty much every analyst I've seen has said this is the best wide receiver in the portal. Hopefully Florida gets in touch, but I know right now he's got visits planned to Ole Miss, Georgia, and Auburn, I think. And the latest I've seen, I do keep up with the big guys, the big fish guys. The latest I've seen has him leaning towards Auburn, although I don't know how they know that because he hasn't visited yet. But I know he's got those visits lined up. Hopefully Florida can get one. Interesting. He had a pretty good year this year. I think he's a fantastic wide receiver, a good playmaker. We'll see. I think Georgia will be a team to look out for here as well. As far as the offenses go, I think Auburn is going to be, obviously they're in the market for a transfer quarterback. I think if they do want to get him, then they're going to have to make a splash at the transfer portal quarterback. I think they are. I think they've got one in the pipes working. But as far as he goes, yeah, I think he's probably the best receiver in the portal. They got the Concepcion guy from North Carolina State. I think he's pretty good as well. But the next time we talk about this guy, he's going to be committing somewhere. So I would expect him to be in the next couple of weeks committed to an SEC program as he is visiting 3 of them. But last year he had 56 receptions, 754 yards. I think this is his second year, so he's going to have 2 more years of eligibility. Overall, he's got over 1,400 yards receiving it, and that is in a offense that is really not suited for receivers. As you've seen, if you watch the Georgia Tech game, you saw they like to run the quarterback and run the ball a lot. So this guy's a really good playmaker. He's going to make somebody very happy when he commits. All right. Next on our transfer portal news, we have Tulane quarterback Darian Mensah. He hits the portal, and it literally seemed like within a snap of a finger, he was committed to Duke. Now, I found that interesting because I think at the time of his commitment, Malik Murphy is still on roster, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, why would this guy commit to Duke with Malik Murphy on roster like he did? Malik Murphy was decent this year. But that'll bring us to our next person we're going to talk about. Like I said, this guy had a standout season at Tulane, led him to the AAC title game. Let's look for his stats. Okay, so he redshirted as a true freshman, and this year, as a sophomore, he completed 65% of his passes for 2,100 yards and 18 touchdowns. So a solid year for Darian Mensah. So what is that? This is fantastic for Florida as far as their bowl preparation goes. This guy's pretty good. I think their third string or either second string quarterback also hit the portal. So do with that what you may as far as the betting odds go in the Florida game. Moving on. So that's a commitment. Commitments won't take as long because, I mean, no need to talk about them. We already know where they're going pretty much. Next on our list, quarterback from Duke, Malik Murphy. I wonder if he was pushed out by the coach. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if we ever find that out. Malik Murphy came from Texas. He was there for 2 years. He played a few games. I think there were some injuries, maybe to Quinn Ewers, and he played a game or two. But he started the whole year at Duke, and he was pretty good, in my opinion. So far as a starter, he's 11-3. I think that includes the couple games at Texas. He was at Texas, but yeah, I mean, his numbers are there. I think his numbers are pretty solid. Let's see if I can find some numbers on him. Yeah, so in his college career, he completes around 60% of his passes, 3,400 yards, 29 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Maybe that's why he's kind of being pushed out. Maybe he turns the ball over a lot. I don't know. Haven't watched a whole lot of Duke this year. I'll be the first to admit. But at Duke, he was 60% passing, 2,900 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. So he does turn the ball over a little bit. Maybe Manny Diaz sees that and he's like, I can do a little bit better in the portal. We'll see. So we'll see where the California native ends up. I actually, hear me out. Before Florida got Graham Mertz, 2 years ago, there was rumors that Malik Murphy was going to hit the transfer portal. I wanted him. I was all in. Hindsight being 2020, I think Graham Mertz did a great job at Florida. Don't get me wrong. We have our quarterback of the future, hopefully, locked up. We need to get him some weapons on the outside. But anyway, that was just my spiel on Malik Murphy. Next up in the transfer portal is another commitment. Quarterback Thomas Castellanos commits to Florida State. The Boston College transfer, he's a Georgia native as well. Known for his legs, but I have seen some games. I watched the Florida State game he played this year and the previous year. The kid can throw it a little bit too. He can make some plays. Now with Florida State and Mike Norvell bringing in Gus Malzahn to call the offense, I think this guy kind of fits Gus Malzahn offense. Maybe that has a little bit to do with why Luke Kromenhoek is hitting the portal as well. Maybe he doesn't quite fit into what Gus is trying to do in Tallahassee. Now, there are some downsides to Thomas Castellanos. I don't know if you guys seen the saga that was going on in Boston College this year. I think Castellanos was like a 2 or 3 year starter at BC. He was benched. I don't know why, but Bill O'Brien wanted to bench him. Maybe it's because he doesn't quite fit the offense he's trying to run either. I know Bill O'Brien is like a kind of a traditional pro-style quarterback and pro-style system. Anyway, he was benched and he quit on his team. A lot of people are making a big to-do deal about it. I figure that's just the way college football is this year. I mean, not this year. In the current time in general. I just figure that's how college football is. He was like the number 80th ranked transfer and on 3 transfer portal rankings and the number 8 quarterback. But I think he does fit what Gus Malzahn is going to try to do in Tallahassee. The problem is I think he only has 1 year of eligibility. In his career at Boston College, he was 58.6% completion percentage, 3,600 yards, 33 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. He also rushed for 1,400 yards and 15 more scores. So what is that? What do those numbers tell you? I don't know because I can't really evaluate him. I don't know how good his offensive line was at Boston College. I don't know what kind of weapons he was throwing the ball to at Boston College. But I can tell you right now, as it stands right now, barring any transfer portal guys that Mike Norvell and Gus Malzahn are probably going to get, I don't know how much better it is in Tallahassee right now. Their offensive line wasn't very good. Not a whole lot of playmakers on the outside. I like Florida State's running backs. So we'll see where it goes. I'm sure Florida State's going to add several more portal guys. And I hope they do anyway. Yeah, but that'll do it for the transfer portal. Moving on, we're going to move on to a little coaching carousel. This segment will be a hot commodity during this time of the year when the coaching carousel is going on. It won't be a mainstay in our show, obviously, because the coaching carousel doesn't last all year. But we will talk about coaching changes. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Barry Odom. Barry Odom has been the coach at UNLV for about 2 years, I think, something like that. Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, this is his second year, I think, at UNLV. He's been everywhere, man. He was at Missouri from 2016 to 2019. That's where I remember him from. He did a decent job there. Then he was hired by, I think it was Sam Pittman at Arkansas. He was defensive coordinator, an assistant head coach or associate head coach, whatever you want to call that. Then he obviously got the UNLV job, and now he's got the Purdue job. What do I think of this hire? I really don't know how to feel about him. He's done decent at places. At UNLV, he was very successful. Now that's the Mountain West. He's playing big boy football in the Big Ten now. The Big Ten is, at least at worst, the second best conference in the country. He's going to have to recruit against powerhouses like Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, for players. You know what I mean? And he's going to have to play those teams every year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to Barry Odom here. He's a funny guy to me. I kind of like him, but we'll see what happens with him. I'm rooting for him. Purdue is not an easy place to go and win, just like Missouri probably wasn't for him. Arkansas probably wasn't an easy place to win as a defense coordinator. UNLV is not an entirely easy place to win as a head coach either. They already have Barry Odom's successor, and it's one that me as a Gator fan and other Gator fans know all too well, Coach Dan Mullen. Now, Dan Mullen was a offense coordinator at Florida for a couple national championships. I've always liked him as a play caller. He went to Mississippi State in 2009, first head coaching gig. I think he did a phenomenal job there. He won 10 games once at Mississippi State, and he won 8 or better several times. I'm looking at his little coaching resume here. He won 8 games three times, it looks like. 10 games once, 9 games twice, 7 games twice. I mean, the guy he won at Mississippi State. Probably one of Mississippi State's most successful coaches in their program history. Hopefully Jeff Lebby can get it going out there. I really like Mississippi State. Their fan base is awesome. Love the Cowbells. Starkville, great college town. In 2018, Dan Mullen was hired at Florida. And what did he do? Started winning. Won 10, 11 games, and then 8, and then 5. So what do we credit the fall off at Florida from? I think it's lack of recruiting. And yeah, that's basically it. If Dan Mullen could recruit, I think he could compete with the elite of the coaches in the country. So UNLV is getting an elite play caller. I don't know what that means for UNLV's offensive coordinator now. I do know he is a hot commodity and is mentioned among the elites as far as OC searches go. So we'll see what happens with him, but Dan Mullen can call an offense. Dan Mullen is a schemer. What Dan Mullen has not been able to do in his past is recruit. I even think he's a decent developer. I think, especially at quarterback, I think he can develop a quarterback. So we'll see what happens with Dan at UNLV. I'm rooting for him. Now, I wanted Dan Mullen the hell out of Gainesville in 2021. I'm not even going to lie to you, because I saw the rapport with the team. It was not good. It seemed like a lot of players had quit. He had lost the locker room, and we weren't recruiting well. Not saying that Billy Napier has been any better, but yeah, it was pretty bad that last season. I was very, very angry watching that 2021 Dan Mullen Florida Gators team. Anyway, moving on. Another interesting hire, Rich Rodriguez. Rich Rodriguez has been around the college football game for a while. He's known as probably the innovator, or one of the innovators of the spread offense. We'll just go from 2001. He's at West Virginia, which is who just hired him now. So he's back. Those West Virginia teams were fun to watch, man. Then he went to Michigan. Not quite as successful there. Arizona, he had a decent bit of success. Then he was at Ole Miss as offense coordinator. Hawaii as an analyst. UL Monroe as an OC. And then most recently at Jacksonville State. And we saw Jacksonville State have pretty good success under him in his head coaching tenure. Now he gets the West Virginia gig. He's back. I think everybody's excited. I think this is a great hire. I think he's perfect for a place like West Virginia. He's another guy that just, his offenses seem to have success wherever he goes. So I expect much to be the same for Rich in West Virginia in his second stint. I can't wait to see the outcome. Now, the only thing I can't wait to see more than Rich is Bill Belichick at UNC. It's finalized. Belichick is leaving, or he's already been fired, I guess, technically, but he's leaving the NFL. He's never coached in college. He's coming to North Carolina. I can't wait to see how this plays out. With recruiting, NIL, the transfer portal, it's probably going to drive the old man crazy. I think he's 72 years old. This is going to be fun, not going to lie. Maybe he can get in there and run the ACC, because two of my rivals, Florida, Miami and Florida State, I would love to see North Carolina run the ACC for a little while. It'd be fun. But Bill Belichick seemed to struggle without Tom Brady. Now, there are a lot of things that go into a successful NFL franchise. It's not just coaching. It has a lot to do with the front office. So we will see how Belichick's going to have pretty much complete control of this program, I think. But I think he won 6 Super Bowls. Just a very accomplished coach in NFL. I can't wait to see how this plays out for college. And yeah, good luck to Bill Belichick. I'm now a North Carolina football fan. The last thing we're going to talk about in today's show is the Heisman Trophy finalists and what I think about them. So the finalists got announced. They're Oregon's quarterback Dylan Gabriel, Colorado's do-it-all guy Travis Hunter, Boise State's star Heisman running back Ashton Jeanty, and Miami's Cam Ward, quarterback. All have had great seasons. They're all there for a reason. I like the picks. If I could have added one and not taken away one, I probably would have added Cam Scatterbo. I'm just a fan of the guy. So I would have added him, but wouldn't have taken away anybody. This year for Gabriel, 3,500 yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Pretty good numbers. He is also the quarterback on the number 1 team in the country, only undefeated team left. I think that has something to do with him being in the Heisman conversation as well. Moving on, Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter's receiving stats alone are pretty good, not going to lie. 92 catches, 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns, leading his team, and I think he either leads or is right there at the top of the Big 12 in receiving. But then he also plays defense. 32 tackles, 11 deflections, and 4 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble on the season at corner. I think he's the best corner on his team. He's kind of a lockdown guy. Now, last year against Colorado State, we saw him get kind of exposed by that Horton guy. But ever since then, I mean, he's been fantastic for me. I like him. Probably one of the best two-way guys we've seen in a long time. One of the only two-way guys we've seen in a long time. Shout out to Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, for allowing him to play both sides. Moving on, Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. Man, just a historic season. He's probably going to break Barry Sanders' record if I had to guess. As long as he doesn't break his leg or something in the playoffs, I think he breaks it. This year he has 2,497 yards, 29 touchdowns on 344 carries. The thing I worry about is his future. That's a lot of carries, and we know running backs have a short shelf life in the NFL as it is. So, but he's got 192 yards per game and 7.3 yards per touch. He's leading the country by over 800 yards in rushing, and he's just 131 yards shy of Barry Sanders' record. Like I said, I think he's going to break it. And then last, Cam Ward. Early in the year, I thought Cam Ward was probably going to win the Heisman, especially after he torched Florida in the swamp. Thank you, Cam. Yeah, I think he's so nonchalant in the pocket. Almost look like he's not even trying, but he's so good. Talent's there. I think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback as well. But he leads the number 1 scoring offense in the country. Miami is scoring 44 points a game. This is his best season ever. 4,123 yards, 36 touchdowns, and that led the country. Just 7 interceptions. So, I mean, as much as they throw it, he doesn't turn it over a whole lot. And this is Miami's best season since 2003. Now, I'm going to give you a little breakdown on how I think they fall. I think with the media, the way the media is pushing, and the way Deion's pushing, I think Travis Hunter's going to win the Heisman. Now, I would have no problem with that, except Ashton Jeanty is having one of the best running back seasons of all time. He's probably going to break the single season rushing record. He's probably going to have how many touchdowns he's got? He's going to have over 30 touchdowns. Insane, right? And for you to have a season like that, not win the Heisman, would be crazy. Now, I will say the level of competition is not the best for Ashton Jeanty, but I would probably, if I had a vote, I'd go Ashton Jeanty 1, Travis Hunter 1A. I think they're both great. I'm fine with either one of them winning, and I think one of them is going to win it, probably Travis Hunter. And then I would probably go Dylan Gabriel. The stats aren't there, but you can just tell he leads that team. He seems to just, step it up when they need it. Just a great leader. The stats are good. Not as good as Cam Ward's, but still good. They're undefeated, and that should count as a stat as well. Well, I guess, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this one because if you put Cam Ward on Oregon, I think they're also undefeated. So, but anyway. And then I would go Cam Ward, spectacular season. I don't think he has a chance to win it just because, I don't know, the stats are there. I think it's just become a two-man race as far as the media goes. Any of these four guys are deserving. Probably the most three deserving are probably Cam Ward, Genty, and Hunter. Dylan Gabriel's stats aren't there. I think he's kind of there because his team's undefeated, and he's probably, he's like the vocal leader. He's good enough to be there, I guess, but still. Anyway, that's going to do it for the college news today. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode. Stay tuned.